technical issues or problem. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Welcome to the Welcome to Institute of Global Professionals free webinar. Okay, so I think I cannot really introduce the information about our lovely webinar since I have some technical issues. So I am going to introduce you now our speaker. She's from Indonesia. Okay, and her topic is about English language and linguistic. Mom, you can join now and please introduce yourself also because of some
Language and
technical issues.
linguistic.
Then I
Mom,
think my internet connection is not
you can
stable.
join now and please introduce yourself also because of some
Language and
technical
linguistic.
issues. Then I
Mom,
think my internet connection is not
you can
stable.
join now and please
Okay,
introduce
mom.
yourself also because of some
Okay, thank
technical
you.
issues. Then I think my internet connection
Well,
is
everybody,
not stable. I have to connect
Okay, mom.
to Wi-Fi again, restart my computer. So mom, please introduce yourself. It's my or it's the pleasure of
okay, well,
IGP to have
everybody,
you. Wi-Fi again, restart my computer. So
okay,
mom, please introduce yourself. It's my or it's the pleasure of IGP to have you.
okay, well, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let me introduce myself to you all. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad to meet you all within these opportunities. Let me introduce myself. My name is Siti Maria Ulfa. I'm coming from Indonesia. And today, we are going to Okay, well, everybody, I hope that you can enjoy this webinar uh, within this kind of issues that I'm going to talk with you all. But firstly, let me try to define a little bit easier about what we are going to talk about today. Okay, of Indonesia in East Java. Okay, for the subtopic for today's webinar is exploring the writing performance of undergraduate students and it's kind of result from an empirical study in creative writing class. Is my sound clear enough here?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I hear a bad sound from your side.
Yeah, I guess so. Hello. Yeah. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kamara.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wait. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? May I continue? Okay, I think we need to fix the sound. Yeah, okay. The sun is not okay from the participant. Okay. Okay. Can I continue now? Yeah, okay. The sun is not okay from the participant. Okay. Okay. Can I continue now? Yeah, okay. The sun is not okay. Can I continue now?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ma'am, I hear a bad sound from your background. Can you fix the sound?
Wait,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but I can still
Ma'am, I
hear.
hear a bad sound from your background. Can you fix the sound?
Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Ma'am, I hear a bad sound from your background.
I have no idea what happened with this. What happened with this sound? There are so many repetition when I am talking about something.
Ma'am, please you left the platform, then you enter the again. Okay, ma'am. You left the platform,
O-
then you enter the again.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Okay, ma'am. We are waiting for you.
So I need to leave and then enter again.
Enter it. Yes, ma'am. You left the platform, then enter again.
Okay.
So I need to leave and then enter again.
Enter it. Yes, ma'am. You left the platform, then enter again.
Okay.
Dear participants, we are waiting for our speaker. I think there is a technical issue from our speaker side. Maybe she fixed the sound. But we are waiting for him, for her. Writing is a skill, not a talent. The statement is true or false. I want feedback from our participants. Writing is a skill, not a talent. The statement is true or false. Ma'am,
Okay,
can
well,
you hear me?
is it clear, the sound?
Yes, ma'am. It's now clear. Share your screen, please.
Okay, so sorry for this inconvenience, everybody.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, let me share the material for you all.
Share your screen, please, ma'am.
Okay, wait a minute. It is still uploading. Would you like to wait for a minute?
Hello, ma'am, Rohamina.
Yes, sir. What happened? Just join. Can you
Yeah,
hear
Yes, ma'am.
me now loud and clear?
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
but now it's clearer, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I restarted my computer
me
and
too.
connect to my hotspot directly because I think the Wi-Fi here is not stable. So I have to use my hotspot or connect to my hotspot. Okay, so mom, you can continue, mom, your discussion.
Yes, my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much, mom, and good luck. Mm.
Okay, well, everybody, let's begin to the previous talk that I have been talking to you. That today's topic is about exploring the writing performance of undergraduate students, and it's kind of result from an empirical study in creative writing class. Because I am a lecturer of university level, I mean, I was teaching in my university for about 10 years, and I was concerning teaching about writing, speaking, language assessment. But today's agenda, but I'm going to a little bit nearer with the topic about what happened inside of the creative writing class itself. Now, regarding to that things, we need to know the objective of this webinar. The first is to inform how writing can be a torment or even a great experiences. It's a little bit interesting if we talk about a word of a term of a torment that what usually what student talk to me that ma'am writing is kind of thing that I cannot afford, that I cannot do that, ma'am. And the second is to inform the writing performance of undergraduate students at the university of first semester and fifth semester. Let's go to the next slide. It's a little bit interesting to know this kind of things. The words is really interesting. Robert Stacy McKinn. She said that writing is a skill, not a talent. And this difference is important because a skill can be improved by practice. Once again, that writing is a skill, not a talent. Talent is coming from inside, but writing is not. So that's why so many students, especially in university level, that writing is really difficult. But we need to bear in mind that writing can be improved. That's why in the first semester, the writing skill is initially as a prior thing that should be done by the students, starting from the basic writing, intermediate writing, until advanced writing. In each level of the writing, it has special function. But in the first semester, in the basic writing, the purpose of the learning itself is rather different. Let me talk about this later on. As I told you before, that there are there are so many skills in English, but I focus on one thing today, writing itself. Writing as a language skill. Writing is a complex process that allows writers to explore thoughts and ideas and make them visible and concrete. Yes, writing is exploring our thoughts and ideas. It's really difficult to talk about the ideas itself. How can I get the ideas, ma'am? How can I get the thoughts itself if I cannot think clearly? That's the basic question from my students actually. But I try to open their mind that writing is not really difficult if they know how to start from. It should be highlighted or it should be underlined that writing encourages thinking and learning for it, motivates communication, and makes thought available for reflection. When thought is written down, ideas can be examined, reconsidered, added to, rearranged, and changed. So that's why within this time for my presentation, I'm going to talk and show also the result of my students' writing. And we will see how are they writing, how are they delivering their thoughts and ideas within a particular subject, within a particular topics of writing given by the lecturers later. Go on to the next slide. Relating to writing as a language skill, Byrne states that the writing program must be carefully planned to develop the mastery of the writing skill. So once again, it is very important for the lecturer within a university or educational level to think deeply. How should the writing skill itself develop? We need to be opted to the function or to be opted to the purposes of the writing skill itself. For example, the first semester in my university and fifth semester, for example, the basic writing, they should know how to make or to write down the main ideas of a particular topic. That's the function, for example. And it is also important since the learners is coming from the very basic level or they are having a basic competence in writing. Because studying in university is quite different when they had their education in a previous level education before. So, since the writing skill will still be guided to a large extent, the English teacher needs to make activities as varied as possible. Yes, it's very important. So that's why, again, I make such kind of suggestion later on what should the lecturer or what should the teacher do within the writing activities itself. And then avoiding monolithic approach. Once again, avoiding monolithic approach which relies on a limited range of exercise types. We have to avoid this kind of approach. Moreover, he suggests that the writing program should continue to provide opportunities for reinforcing language learned orally. And it should be designed to include a greater range for the resources of the written language. And the amount of control over what learners write should be reduced and the range of communication tasks should be extended. Let's go to the next slide. So, in writing itself, there are so many things to be considered here. And Brown, 2001, in page 343, categorized 11 principles of micro skills for writing production as follows. Maybe it's a little bit too small, but I try to look at my own notes here to make it clearer. Wait a minute. The first is about graphemes and orthographic patterns of English. Yes, the first principle is regarding to producing graphemes and orthographic patterns of English. Orthographic itself, for example, when I say bad, B-E-D, the first letter is B, and then the second letter is E, and then the third letter is D. Wait a minute. And then the second is produce writing at an efficient rate of speed to suit the purpose. And the third is produce an acceptable core of word and use appropriate word order patterns. Yes, it is really important that writing itself is closely related to the word order patterns. We will see later what is inside of the writing itself regarding to the scoring rubric of writing. It is closely related with word order patterns. It's really interesting. Later on, we will see how the students produce the word order patterns in terms of creative writing class. And then use acceptable grammatical system, for example, the tense, the agreement, the pluralization, patterns, and so on. And then express a particular meaning in different grammatical forms. Use cohesive devices in written discourse. Use the rhetorical forms and conventions of written discourse. Appropriately accomplish the communicative functions of written text according to form and purpose, convey links and connections between event and communicate such relations to the main idea, supporting idea, given information, generalization, and exemplification. And then distinguish between literal and implied meaning when writing. And the last is develop and use a battery of writing strategies such as accuracy, assessing the audience interpretations, using pre-writing devices, writing fluency in the first draft, using paraphrase and synonyms, soliciting peers and structure feedback, and using feedback for revising and editing. So actually, there are so many things that should be highlighted if we do or we give the writing itself for our students. Please consider the basic thing that they have to master before when they need to produce an essay that are demanded by the lecturer or inside the classroom, or it depends on the class itself. Here, in order to be able to write well, the foreign language learners need to be equipped with early and continued writing experiences. We know that practice makes perfect. So that's why it is therefore important to provide the learners with writing tasks that can develop their skills to record information in many different ways. So again, teachers need to pose the writing activities to meet the purpose of the writing itself. The teacher can facilitate the students with real object or picture or object with which the learners can develop ideas. I Remember when I was teaching in a fifth semester, I used online platform technology, and also I put so many pictures inside of the online platform itself. The purpose is just so simple because students like to write down if they see a picture. It depends on your topic. For example, descriptive text, for example, it's just for example. But in university level, it is a little bit heavier to talk about a description of a particular person. For example, when I not mistaken, at that time I asked my students to write down about the person that they very admire. So I put several pictures for their brainstorming, and they were happy with that. And then the teacher can also ask the students themselves to provide picture as their favorite advertisement or their own drawings. Fortunately, when the students are very engaged with their activities, they also see that, okay, I have so many ideas, ma'am, and I know how to write something based on the topic itself. That's very interesting, everybody. And then let's go to the next slide. But one more thing, this can relieve the teacher from the task of finding objects or picture. Here, Aunik in 2010 says that writing well and effectively helps students to achieve three important objectives. The first is it reinforces grammatical structures, idiom, and vocabulary. Maybe I should highlight something here from my students only that their grammatical structure, vocabulary are increased. But for the idioms, it's really quite difficult for them. I found in their essays that it's very rare for them to write down idioms. When I asked them, why don't you try to use such kind of idiom? It will be very interesting for your topic. Ma'am, it's very difficult because I do not know how to make such kind of word patterns of using idioms. So that's why it's really important and to be taken into account for the lecturers later on or wherever you are teaching your students idiom separately. Maybe you can take more time to teach about idioms for their writing. It's really difficult, actually. It's coming from my experience at that time. It provides, and the second is, it provides opportunities for our students to be more adventurous with the language, to go beyond what they have learned, and to take risks with the effects of writing. Yes, I agree with this. Writing well and effectively provides opportunities for our students to be more adventurous with the language. They are free to use any kinds of word related to the topic. Means that they are adventuring with the language itself. Later on, we will see how large or how was interesting that adventurous is. And the third is it develops language skill in terms of fluency, accuracy, and appropriateness. But remember one thing, these three things again depends on the student or depends on the lecturer. Because students sometimes are not alert with what they have written. And here, the job for the lecturer to give any feedbacks for the students in order they know the result of their writing. Well, everybody, when we talk about written writing, so we need to see the differences in written and oral language. These both skills are productive skills. The first is speaking and writing. Speaking is impermanent and it is unplanned. Sometimes we just talk without any planning. It is casual. We can see it from the language use. Sometimes students use slang words and it is universal. But writing itself, it's permanent and it is planned. Stylized, solitary activity, and it is also learned. Well, now, Penny Orr argues that there are 9 differences which distinguish written and spoken discourses, namely permanence, explicitness, density, detachment, organization, slowness of production or speed of reception, standard language, a learned skill, sheer amount, and importance. So, we will see the next slide. Well, everybody, the first difference is in terms of permanence itself. As it is stated before in the previous slide, between speaking and writing, there is a word of permanent and impermanent. Written discourse is permanent and constant, so reading activities of a text can be conducted anytime. The reader has much more opportunities to arrange, rate, and stage of attention in comprehending it efficiently. Spoken discourse, in contrast, moves on in a real time. The listener has direct chance asking about detailed clarification from the speaker. Where I am speaking and the listener is not really aware with what we are speaking, so that's why we need some kind of clarification here. Moreover, the listener must focus and follow what is said at the speed set by the speaker. For example, now I am speaking to you all. So I need to consider about the speed itself to make it clearer to everyone. And you do not need ask me some clarification if it is clear enough. That's only for example, but not in writing. The second dissimilarity is about explicitness. The written discourse is overt. The contextual use and all references appear in the written discourse have to be clear. So that's why it is again and again I say that writing is not really easy, but by practicing every day, we will improve. The students will improve anything in doing the writing skill itself. In spoken discourse, however, the speaker and listener share topic of the discussion explicitly. They interact in the real-time situations like us now, and therefore both speaker and listener should respond what they are talking about unambiguously. The third distinction is regarding to the density itself. The content is presented much more densely in a written discourse. Spoken discourse, on the other hand, can be expressed through many more word choices. And the speaker might not only repeat her or his phrases to convince the listener, but also produce a text that is clearly longer and with or unnecessary passage. The fourth contrast is concerning with detachment. In writing text, a writer detaches in time and space from its reading. When you have so much reading, you will have better activity in writing. She or he needs more focus on the write because the readers may not be acquainted by the writer. Yes, because it is solitary act. To create a comprehensible text, the writer should position her or himself as a reader, or should locate her or himself as a reader. Sorry for the mistake. Thus, the writer must convey the essential information in a written text effectively. But in spoken discourse, speaker interacts with non-listener immediately and gets direct feedback. It's really interesting to see the differences between spoken and written actually, ma'am censors. The fifth disparity is relating to the organization itself. A written text is usually organized, well thought, and carefully created, since its writer has time and opportunity to check it over before making it available for reading. A speaker might improve her or his spoken text by continuing alterations. It's kind of make any changing, self-correcting, and producing well-organized discourse directly. A written text, hence, concerns more on grammar. Again, it concerns more on grammar in constructing coherent sentences, and the use of its vocabulary is more accurate and formal. But on the other hand, as I talked to you at the previous time, in speaking, students tend to use slang words or even informal words. The sixth is inequality is regarding slowness of production or speed of reception. In creating a well-written text, a creator needs longer period of time than spoken one. Yes, I agree with this. We need more time. On the other hand, a reader can usually read a piece of text and understand it much faster than she or he can take it in the same time if she or listen while someone reads it aloud to others. The seventh inequality is about standard language. Writing normally uses a generally acceptable standard variety of the language, whereas speech may sometimes be in the regional or other limited context dialect. In some languages, Chinese, or even in Bahasa Indonesia, the various spoken dialects may even be mutually incomprehensible. Sometimes it is, while the written language is universally understood. Well, it's very important thing should be highlighted by all the lecturers when they teach writing. The eighth difference is in relation to a learned skill. Most people acquire the spoken language at least of their own mother tongue naturally, while the written form is in most cases deliberately taught and learned. I guess it's really understandable. And the last distinction is regarding sheer amount and importance. Spoken texts generally contain more words than a representation of the same information in spoken ones. This is basically because of the phenomenon called redundancy. make something longer, make something heavier, make something not really useful. It's kind of a thing that should be included into the word of redundancy. Or 1999 in page 161 also states that it is true to say that most people speak far more than they write. Yes, I agree with this. And associated with this point is a third that speech is more important for survival and effective functioning in society than writing. Okay, well, it's a little bit coming nearer to the writing activity that was done in a particular class. We need to know that what kinds of text learned in university. Why it is important to be discussed here? Because we need to make some kind of limitation. We need to make some borders dealing with the things that the students need to learn in university. Again and again, when we know about the kinds of the texts learned in university, we also know about the purpose, why they have to write, and then what kind of word that should be included into the text learned in university. The first is persuasive. Yes, this kind of text learned in university, persuasive, is mostly used in university level. According to Starkey, in a persuasive or argument essay, students choose one idea and show why it is more legitimate or worthy than other. The purpose is not to merely show someone's side, but convince the reader why it is best. In order to convince effectively, students must base their argument and reasoning and logic. And this is the thing that should be taken into account, the key verbs that help the student to identify a call to write a persuasive essay. It is including the first is criticize. Students in university level are happy when they are asked to make some reason or to make some critics to someone. And criticize itself, it expresses the judgment about the strengths and weaknesses of the topic and draw the conclusion. And it's also justify, defend or uphold the position on the topic using convincing evidence. It also evaluates, assess the topic based on its strengths and weaknesses, and it's kind of proof, confirm or verify that something is real or true using evidence. Here again, why persuasive text is really important to be given to the students in university level, because it is dealing or playing with their thoughts and ideas. The second is expository. An expository essay gives directions, instructions, or explanation. It informs by presenting the writer's knowledge about the topic to the reader. Students might be asked to define, to compare, or even to contrast, or even explain cause and effect. In fact, think of the verbs used in their topic as a keyword that clues students into the fact that they are being asked to write an expository. In this case of kinds of text, it's really challenging for the students when they were asked about their knowledge about something. And these keywords include, the first is compare, contrast, define, describe, diagram, discuss, and enumerate. And the last is explain. When we all see the keys words here, Actually, there is a word of describe. So again, student is getting closer or even know about, they even more know how to describe about something by giving their definition, by giving their contrast, by giving their compare. It's kind of thing that really challenging for the students, and they will explore their thoughts dealing with the topic given by the teacher or the lecturer. If you still remember, the title of this topic is about exploring the writing skill in creative writings class. This is what happened actually. When the word of creative is exists there, means that the students are being given such kind of freedom to write down anything, but still inside of the consideration written by the teacher. Here, another thing that should be also discussed here, for example, is illustrate, interpret, narrate, outline, relate, recount, review, set, summarize. This thing is dealing with the activities of the students' writing. The first is illustrate, using example, graphic, organize, evidence, or analogies to give meaning or answer a problem. These words you can use in your writing class later on, that when they need to illustrate, interpret, narrate, outline, relate is something really important if your students are doing writing skill or even producing an essay. Interpret. Explain the meaning of something or solve a problem using personal opinions, judgment, or reaction. Narrate here, explain an occurrence by describing it as a series of chronological events. While outline, describe in an organized fashion, systematically highlighting only the major points, the detail only, and relate, explain the associations or connection between two or more things, events, circumstances, or even people may also be used to mean narrate. And recount, it is similar to narrate. Review, critically examine the topic, event, idea, or thing in question, discussing major points and their strengths or their weaknesses. Next is state. Express major points concisely without using examples or detail. And this is the last one is summarize. Similar to narrate, describe the chronological of particular moment. Okay, well, everybody, within this part, in this slide, we need to be more aware or stay alert to this kind of terms. The first is focus. When we are teaching our student, okay, everybody, well, today we're going to teach about writing, and there are so many things that should be taken into account by you all here, for example. So we need to be again share something important to our student dealing with the writing itself. The first is about the focus. An essay should have a single clear central idea. It's always happen in students' essay that the central idea is not there. It again, we can say that writing sometimes will be a torment till the blood drops from their heads. They say that writing is very difficult, especially in finding the central idea of their essay. But once they have the central idea itself, the writing will flow as it is. And then each paragraph should have a clear main top point or topic sentence. After the teacher giving the students topic, they need to bear in mind that what should I write then? They can make such kind of outline, a very simple outline. For example, the topic is about lifestyle in Indonesia, for example. They have to make such kind of outline before they write something. Why they have to write down an outline? The purpose is only to find the idea. What will they jot down later on? And then the second is development. Each paragraph should support or expand the central idea of the paper. The idea of each paragraph should be explained and illustrated through examples, details, and descriptions. Unity. Every paragraph is an essay should be related to the main idea. Each paragraph should stick to its main point, so not out of the point. Coherence. An essay or paper should be organized logically, flow smoothly, and stick together. In other words, everything in the writing should make sense to a reader. Correctness. An essay should be written in generally correct standard English with complete sentences and be relatively error-free. And this kind of characteristic, which is proposed by Starkey, could be given to your student when you ask your students to write down about a particular topic of a creative writing class. So again, minimally, you can fulfill this characteristic to your writing. Start from the focus, development, unity, coherence, correctness. And then why is writing important? As it is studied before, but it's really should be getting narrower here. That writing is a form of output, thinking made evident, thinking with a pencil. Writing is important. Why? Because it means of building fluency, way of developing accuracy and grammar, vocabulary, and is a premier way in which children think and express their ideas. While for them, it's really difficult to express their ideas when they are speaking, but sometimes for some groups or for several groups are easier to write down their ideas when they have writing activities. It is a way children to express creativity, uniqueness, and indicate what they want. And it's kind of critical skill for academic or professional success. And then this kind of step, it can be done by the teacher to refine structure and content. Use your ideas from step to 5 to rewrite your text, making improvement to the structure and content. And you might need to explain something more clearly or add more details. You might even need to change your organization so that your teacher is, so your, sorry, here, or maybe your writing is more logical. And why write? Developing writing skill will not only help students to express themselves effectively, but it will also help them to achieve success in life, and it will serve them well in a wide range of occupation. Remember one thing, that if your students can write well, hopefully they will get the job easier. We have to know that from Friedman, Pringle, and Yalden, writing and until recent years has been the neglected child in the family of the four skills. So actually, from the four members in language skills, starting from listening, speaking, reading, and writing, seems like that writing itself is kind of neglected child in the family of the four speaking skills. Why? Because of the difficulty itself. Writing is sometimes also avoided by them. But again and again, it's something more challenging for the students to make some kinds of to be more innovative in a class, to ask the students to write or to produce something, and it will make them rely on the thing that, oh, writing gives me more benefit than this skill, for example. And writing is a process of expressing feeling. It's not only thoughts. Feeling is also there in any ideas in the form of graphic language, and it is one of English skill that should be mastered by English language learners. It mostly happened in my university that students are eager to speak up, then write down something. But this kind of gap, why they do not want to write something so heavy, it makes the teacher or the lecturer think out of the box. What should I do with them? One of the lecturer was using the online platform. It is why because the students are more eager to speak up better than writing. So it's very funny actually, but it happens in a real life in my university. And then, what are the qualities of good writing? So please, again, look at this. Ideas. Starting with an idea that interests students to produce a good piece of writing. It is important, however, to consider whether potential readers will also find the idea interesting. And then organization is already discussed before in the previous slide. But again and again, why I put this term in this slide, I just want to make sure that there are so many things to be taken into account when we give our students writing activities. Good writing has a clear and consistent organization that suits the topic. For example, when we write or they tell a story, we arrange them to detail chronology or in the order in which they occurred. And then the voice, not the voice, if we are speaking not like that, it refers to all the distinctive qualities of the writing, the types of the language we use, and the way we put together the sentences and paragraphs to ideas that we would like to write about and the attitude conveyed to the readers. And then the word choice, so sorry if you cannot read the slides clearer. By choosing the words correctly, it is dealing with the meaning. It should be we need to be more careful to again ask our students to choose words that are opted to the topic. Sentence fluency. It deals with transition to make clear how one sentence connects to next. A variety of lengths, structures, and openers help to create a rhyme. A rhyme here. Sorry for the mistype. It's very important. So, back to the thing that writing is neglected child in a family, it should be again restated that within this kind of thing that it should be fulfilled by the students starting from the organization, the sentence fluency, the voice. It seems like it's hard for them. But it's not really hard if they know the basic concept of the writing itself. Teacher need to be more easier easier to talk to students. So actually, writing is not really difficult if you know about this concept, if you know about what thing that should be included into the writing itself. So again, it's really more challenging for this, for the teacher or even for the students. This is conventions. It deals with the use of the grammar, usage, and the mechanics. Errors in this area will distract readers, but not in productive skill like speaking. And then the 6 steps of writing process. The step one is choose a topic. Please make sure that you have the topic or the motion. Before you write, your teacher gives you a specific assignment or some ideas of what to write about. So if you do not have the topic, do not ever ask your student to write down about something. It will be something which is misleading them. And then the step 2 is gather ideas. When you have a topic, think about what you will write about the topic. Please think hard. It's a little bit harder if you think the thing that should be written down after you have the topic itself. Organize. The third is organize. Decide which of the ideas you want to use and where you want to use them. The step 4 is write your paragraph or essay from the start to finish. Use your notes about your ideas and organization. The 5 is review structure and content. Check what you have written. Read your writing silently to yourself or aloud. You can add more information if it is needed and check to see if you have any unnecessary information. Ask a classmate to exchange paper with you. It's okay. But remember one thing, you have to say that to your student, okay, your job is only reading your friend's work and you may give some feedback. But no need to giving any judgment, no need to giving any assessment because the teacher will do that. How to get things started? The first is pre-writing. It is the first page in this case. In which way we are exploring possible topics. Choose a topic or then even details you can include in your writing. And it is free writing, everybody. Students are write for a specified period of the time without taking them from the page. Usually 3 minutes for a first attempt and then typically for about 5 to 8 minutes. This is what I have done in my class. And we need also to know or to do brainstorming. As Osima and Hogu and Longman in 1996 proposed that brainstorming is a pre-writing activity in which you come up with a list of ideas about the topic on your own or in a small group with your classmates. For example, when you were a teacher and then you give them a topic, okay, today we are going to talk about the lifestyle, especially in Indonesia. We make it narrower. For example, in East Java lifestyle or cultures maybe. So you need to make some kind of brainstorming here. You need to talk about the culture itself before you give the topic, or maybe after you give the topic. It will make your student think and or even gather an ideas from your brainstorming. And then you quickly can write down a list of ideas that come to your mind as you are thinking about a general subject or a specific topic. And then this is maybe it's not really quite clear. Yeah, in the following model, the writer already had a sport in mind, so the brainstorming for ideas to develop the topic. This is only for the way how the brainstorming itself works. For example, the topic is hiking in the wilderness. So you may write down something. You may write down everything related to this topic. For example, on the recreation, the hiking trip, see the beauty of areas, or whatever it is. And this is making a list. Maybe you can ask your student to write down a single word, phrases, or even sentences that are connect to your topic. Look at this. For example, here, if you talk about culture, so you need to Make a list or even sentence or even things related to the culture itself. And it is based on Dorothy. And this is a mapping, yeah. If, for example, cultures, you can write down cultures in the middle of your book, and then you make kind of road here, cultures, what thing related to cultures is like a concept mind mapping. It will make your student easier. And finally, we can use editing here. Which one is which one that I will use? Which one that I should throw it up? Which one that I can use, or which one that I can ban it. Well, everybody, this is the steps of brainstorming. Write down your general subject or specific topic, make a list of everything that comes to your mind about it, and use word, phrases, or even sentences. Do not worry about the order of the ideas, mechanics, grammar, or spelling. After the topic is being given to the students, they are being asked to write down everything they know or they think about the topic given. No matter what it is, just write down. Do not ever blaming, oh, you should consider this. No, just make sure that you are receiving all the things that they write about the topic that you have given in your classroom. And listing. The student is encouraged to produce as lengthy list a listing possible of all the main ideas or subcategories that come to mind as he or she thinks of the topic at hand. And clustering begins with a keyword or central idea placed in the center of the page front. It is like mind mapping. And then again, we need to make how we need to make our stay alert how to get things started. The second how to get things started, it is drafting, involving putting ideas down on a paper in a raw format. Like a raw format is the first or draft. Shaping your writing, focus on the form. Each form of writing has its own set of objective. Attract your reader's attention with strong lead, providing elaboration. As you develop each of the paragraph in the body of your paper, focus on elaborating or developing your key points by providing a throughout set of facts, example, and details. Again, if the topic is about culture, so please write down the thing that you know about the culture itself, where you are living, what is the culture over there, what is the fact, what is the example, what is the details. Just write down. And then revising is the stage in which you rework your rough draft to improve both its form and its content. After you write down the facts, after you write down the details, please try to revise again. And in this step, you can start examining the soundness of your structure or overall organization. Your ideas should flow logically from the beginning to end. And editing and proofreading are the stages in which you polish your writing, fixing errors in grammar, spelling, and mechanics. Again, you need to recheck your writing after you write down about a particular topic. Make sure that what you have written down before in terms of mind mapping, in terms of brainstorming or listing or whatever it is, you have to make some kind of editing and proofreading. And you need to see again your grammar, spelling, and mechanics is really important to be given to your student when they are in the first semester. If they know the rules, the best rules in writing, so they will not again repeating the same mistake in the next semester. And then this is a micro and macro skill in writing, but I only focus on the micro skills in writing, producing graphemes and orthographic patterns in English. It was, uh, it was, it was, it was stated at the previous time, uh, first or second slide, if If I was not mistaken, it was done. So again, I only restating that for the micro skill here, dealing with the producing graphemes and orthographic patterns of English language, and then also optimizing the correct grammatical system and so on and so on. And then this is the table. It's only for your information, the objective of the writing skill itself, the writing skill itself, the learning materials. This is only dealing with the creative writing. One of the special skills that the student will learn is about they are able to understand the basic of literacy writing and have the ability to write a variety of creative works, including fiction and poetry, something like that. So this is the result of the students' writing performance in the first semester. You can see her, you can see her that they produce a very short writing. But unfortunately, teachers should again appreciate the way how they write something. The first I notice is about the main idea that they have. And after that, I focus more on the grammar, on the word choice. But you can imagine, with only 4 lines, how can I make assessment? Because because the production is very limited, so that's why I also focus on several things. Sometimes I focus only the grammar. I focus on the main idea. Okay, it's a little bit yeah. And then this is maybe will be the last material that I'm going to deliver to you all is the factors of effective writing. If you see the students' result, the yellow one, as I talked to you previously, there are so many factors affected students' writing. The first is, according to Yugi et al., linguistically, composition use more formal forms and instructions of language. The sentences and the way of the organization should be developed in such a way that the message is conveyed to the readers as what it is intended. It is really difficult for the student to make a good organization. Ma'am, it's really difficult for me to join this word and whatever. And it makes them really uh, neglect something dealing with the organization itself. And then secondly, psychologically, writing is solitary act. Communication between the writer and the readers takes place in isolations that makes feedback to be obtained not immediately or even never ever. So again, it should be highlighted and should be underlined for the teacher. If you ask your students to write about something, please make sure you give them feedback directly or even in a very short time. No, or even you do not give them any feedback. How do they know their writing competence if you as a teacher do not give the feedback itself? So please be careful with that. And third is cognitively, writing is usually obtained through formal instructions that requires preceding learning on other knowledge and skills. And those knowledge and skill, example given of communications competence and writing elements facilitate writing. Therefore, writing develops more slowly than other productive skill. And this is only for example, my students after being given any revision and feedback, they can produce a better essay. They have the main ideas, they have the supporting, they have the conclusion, and I was happy with that. Okay, this is the second example, and this is the last one that for the discussion. Knowing the students' production by the students above, it can be said that writing is more complex and more abstract than talk. Students need to have more practices because sometimes writing could be a torment for students. Writing needs a great deal of skill and conventions such as writing readiness and grammatical rules. Besides, teachers also face great challenges when they teach this kind of skill, since writing is not only putting pen to a paper of, of writing down idea, but is how the ideas are presented and expressed effectively. And to begin, writing is cognitive process. It deals with how the students think about something. It is difficult skill to be mastered. It is drafted, revised, and then edited over an extended period of time. Students and instructors should work and cooperate in order to reach a level of writing proficiency that is satisfactory. So, again, and as additionally, Calliope Benetos claimed that great teachers write and engage their pupil or their students in the writing processes and products. They have first-hand experience with the tasks they assign to their students, and as a result, they develop a greater sensitivity to difficulties students encounter with their writing. Thus, teacher or lecturers should begin writing themselves, as writing entails sharing and discovering new ideas, which benefits both parties, between students and the teacher. And then just the rules in writing: capitalization, personal pronoun, proper nouns, all names that refer to God and the name of all sacred books are capitalized, and the names of the days also capitalized. And the first word of every part of an outline is capitalized. Punctuation, using comma, geographical names, and whatever. And then this is a trend in classroom practices and techniques. Students begin to copy sentences from their readers or from their oral exercises. After several practice exercises on sentences copying, the student also copy paragraph, dialogues or conversation, and last lines or stanzas of poetry. And close attention is given to the capitalization and punctuation rules. And reading activity in the writing class, you see here, there are so many advantages here. While you are doing the writing class, make sure that also you are focused too in reading activity, because the advantages are so many. One of them is reading provide model of what English language looks like, particularly for English language learners who have less proficiency in language, because by reading so many books or by reading so many words or sentences, they will be more adaptive to the language use, or even if not their purpose or limitation, awareness of English language per style. And the second is close relating exercises can be done to draw attention to particular stylistic choices, grammatical features, methods of development, and markers of cohesion and coherence. And using reading as a basis of practice such skill as summarizing, paraphrasing, interpreting, and synthesizing concept. And this is the last one from me. For the implication for today's sharing is the evidence suggests that these undergraduates have learned writing abilities and have progressed to become excellent writers, actually. It is believed that prolonged exposure and reading are useful to develop strong writing abilities. Writing is difficult and time consuming, but regular exposure to reading and writing will aid enhance writing skill. And teachers might, for example, encourage students to attend writing centers, learning clubs, or even laboratories, as well as participate in formative assessment to enhance their understanding of such tactics. Strategies like as self-editing and peer editing, providing whole class comments on the most prevalent faults after each significant student submission by constructing brief mini lesson of 15 to 20 minutes might be another time to assist students minimize language-related errors in their writing. So again, it should be highlighted. It should be known by all the teacher. And finally, students in different groups may have different in their attention. We all agree with this. They have different motivation, objective, and belief, which may have influenced their use of various resources and tactics to correct linguistic faults in the writing. To correct linguistic faults in the writing, controlling such a variable in future study might help them to explain student strategic behavior when it comes to using alternate sources of learning and feedback to reduce linguistic faults in the writing. So maybe it it's the last or it is the end of my presentation of this afternoon's webinar. Thank you for having me as a speaker here, and questions and comments are really welcome. Thank you.
Unmute your microphone, ma'am Rohamina.
Oh, hello, mom.
Yes, I
Oh,
can
I'm
hear
so
you.
sorry. Okay, mom, thank you so much
You're
for
very
your
welcome. It's my
wonderful
pleasure, ma'am.
explanation. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you so much, mom, for your wonderful explanation. I do love your topic. This morning I write some articles. Then the problem is I don't know what words should I should I use just to have a comprehensive writing. And I pay attention attentively to your discussion. Like, oh, yeah, writing is very important and we have to improve ourselves every day. And thank you so much, Mom. I love your explanation. I love your voice. It's very clear. Thank you so much, Mom.
My
Okay,
pleasure.
so um, now after the quiz competition, mom, we will have our Q&A portion. Okay, so to our lovely participants, time for quiz competition. So please be ready and join our quiz competition. Then later on, we will choose 10 winners. Please go to www.slido.com and type the code IGP quiz. You can also see this link in the comment box. Okay, right now we have more than 30 participants. Okay, so first question. Writing until recent years have been the neglected child in the family of the four skills. Is it true or false? Okay, 85% said yes, and that is the correct answer for question number one. Okay, question number two. In order to write well, foreign language learners need to be equipped with early and continued writing experiences. Is it true or false? Okay, so the correct answer for question number two is yes, and 94% of the participants got the correct answer. Very good. Okay, still the top one is Marivik. Okay, question number three. Topic should not exist in writing. Is it yes or no? Okay, very good. Is it the correct answer is no, and 94% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, moving on to question number four. And right now, our top one is Gamelin, if I'm not mistaken. Writing cannot reinforces grammatical structures, idiom, and vocabulary of the students. Is it yes or no? Okay, very good. The correct answer is no, and 89% of the players got the correct answer. Oh, our top one now is Sir Mark Joshua Diego. Okay, moving on to question number five. Writing provides opportunities to the students to be more adventurous with the language. Is it yes or no? Okay, very good. All of you got the correct answer. 100%. Very good. And the top one is Sir Dennis. Question number six. Written discourse and spoken discourse are similar. Is it yes or no? Okay, very good. The correct answer is no. And 78% of the players got the correct answer. Okay, the top one is Sir Mark again. Writing, for question number seven, writing demands more structured sentences than speaking. Is it yes or no? Okay, very good. The correct answer is yes. And 92% of the participants got the correct answer. Okay, Sir Mark again, our top one. Persuasive is not kind of text learned at university. Is it yes or no? Okay, so the correct answer for question number 8 is no. Okay, that is no. Again, our top one is Sir Mark. So only two questions left. For question number 9, there are 40 key words in persuasive essay. Yes or no? Okay. Only 33% of the participants got the correct answer. That is no. Okay, so Mom Rosales is our top one now. Okay, one more question. Expository is not kind of text learned at university. Is it true or false? Is it yes or no, rather? Okay, the correct answer is no, and 81% of the participants got the correct answer. So let us find out who are the top 10 for today's quiz competition. Okay, the top one is Rosales, followed by me and Kate. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Catherine. We also have Mary Day. Mary Day is the top four. Top five, Carmela. Six, Christina. And who is seven? Okay, seven is Mark, Sir Mark, followed by Sir Dennis, Ginaline, and the last is, okay, wait, I couldn't see, Mom Emmeline. So congratulations to all the top 10 winners for today quiz competition. So for those who did not include for the, or who are not the winners, so tomorrow or tonight you can um, join again to the quiz competition. Okay, so once again, congratulations to all of you. And now, dear participants, let us proceed to the Q&A portion. So be ready. Okay, hello, Mom City. Good afternoon
Hello.
again, Mom. So, apologies if I have to turn off my camera because or the camera because my internet connection is so poor.
It's okay.
Okay, so to our lovely participants, you can ask our lovely speaker if you have any clarifications. Please write it in our chat box, then our speaker will answer it. Okay, Mom, we have question from Mom Evelyn. Hello, Mom. Good afternoon, Mom Evelyn. Okay, so Mom, the question of Mom Evelyn is that what technique or motivation to be given to a child that don't like to write? Okay, Mom. Thank you so much, Mom Evelyn, for your wonderful question. So, Mom, could you please give us some motivation for those students who don't like to write English, who don't want to write? Okay, Mom. So, please give us some motivation.
Okay, thank you, Mom Evelyn Webry. Webry, sorry for the mispronunciation for your name. So actually, your question is dealing with teaching English for young learners. Actually, what technique or motivation to be given to a child that do not like to write? Thank you. Well, it's so hard actually to give the motivation itself, because motivation is something like coming from the inside of our of a particular person or or child. But here, maybe for the technique, you can start from the thing very basic is about the use of a particular word. For example, you ask your student, okay, I have this word. For example, a car. What is car? You ask your children or your child or students, uh, please define a car. How can we use the car? How can we make the car, and what are the functions of the car, for example? So start from those things, they will be more eager to define or even to simply modify their words. And then after that, uh, after teaching them about the word, okay, let's arrange this word and this word. And finally they will make uh, a complete word, more complete, and even they can write down about something. And also for the motivation, you have to make sure that the students really like the writing itself firstly, because by writing we can make sure that we can acquire also another language. It's a very complex thing. You may say that to your student, okay, if you can write well, you also can master about the grammar, about the vocabularies, about everything in English. And also, maybe it's quite difficult for me to talk about the motivation for a child, because it's really different with students in the university level. They have their own motivation, but maybe you can try those technique and say that later on, if you are getting older and older, we cannot live far away from the way of writing. We can get more a job easily. We can get higher easily if we can write something good or better. We like that.
Yes, that's true, Mom. So I agree with you. Like, we have to give them some words, and those words they have to use it in their daily lives, that they can apply those words in their daily lives. Like the word happy. How can you use the word happy? So the students will give some sentence, and then they have to use the word happy. And then we can motivate them, like just like what Chab mentioned, to in writing you can express your feelings, your emotions, and then in the future it would help you. So thank you so much, Mom, for wonderful answer, and I hope Mom Evelyn, Mom City answered your question clearly. Once again, thank you so much, Mom Evelyn.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let us move on to another question. Okay, another question is, so to our lovely participants, you can write your questions. to the chat box or in the chat box. Please write your questions or clarifications in our chat box. So I think everything is clear, Mom. They don't
Yes.
have questions. No more questions, Mom,
Yes.
because I
My
think
good.
you explained it very clear.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much. On me,
yes,
much.
thank you. Yeah, Mom, I'm so sorry because I don't know why my internet connection now is very so poor.
Yeah.
Like I have to turn off my camera, I have to restart it my computer. So maybe it's also because of the weather.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe.
so yes, so Mom, thank you so much for
You're very
your
welcome.
time.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for the knowledge you have shared with us. It's very beneficial, crucial to us, especially to our participants today. Once again, Mom, thank you so much. Alhamdulillah and happy Ramadan to you, Mom.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, thank you so much, Mom. Okay, so to our lovely participants, today our topic or the topic of our webinar is English language and linguistic. Okay, so wait, and we will going to post your the code for today webinar. Okay, so you can note our code for today. The code is IGP 7643. So remember the code is IGP 7643. And remember that without code no one is eligible for certificates. Okay, so with code you can claim your certificates anytime. And then if you haven't an account yet, you can create or you can visit our website and it do it. Okay, just follow, just visit or log in to www.eduigp.com. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. Remember our code for today webinar is IGP 7643. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for your active participation. See you tonight. Okay, Rohamina is signing off. Thank you and have a good day to all of you.